Hi, so this video is going to be a very quick show how of how to install a servo eliminator, a switchable one for the BMW S1000RR 2024 model. I sort of hummed and hawed over what to do in terms of exhaust. Was looking at sort of straight through exhaust, headers, and titanium all the way through. It sounds amazing. I'm sure you've seen the videos online. Flames and everything else. It looks great. But the only thing holding me back is it's a brand new bike. It's not even run in yet, and I don't want to have to do a remap and basically suffer loss of warranty, etc. due to that. Equally, the bike's more than powerful enough for me. I'm not taking it onto the track every week or anything like that, and it's definitely more than I could handle anyway. So I don't need a remap. I don't need more power. I don't need anything like that. So with that being said, I was thinking, well, I'll just wait, a few years and then sort it out down the line. Had quite a few comments on how nice the bike is, and then you start it up and it's a bit disappointing, to be honest. I completely agree. I also like the idea of a bike being heard. So, just people being aware of you in the vicinity, basically, not in a sort of hooligan sort of way, but more just for your own safety, that people are aware you're there. And again, it just doesn't offer that as stock. Mine is the M Sport, so it's got the Acra exhaust from standard, but it makes no difference. It doesn't sound particularly good. So with that being said, I thought, what are my options? I can just change the back, get an end can, looking at Austin Racing, SC Project, etc. They look great. But I think the sound is no different, essentially, and you're just paying for a metal tube to go on the end. It's not cheap. It's 800 quid, roughly, for either of those, as good as they look. So I took my end can off, realised that it doesn't make any noise difference, really. It's minute, which was just to decide whether I was going to fork out 700 quid if the sound was good. Anyway, it's not worth it as far as I'm concerned. So I looked at a servo eliminator. Now, there's different ways of doing it. I've seen some videos of people taking a servo out, people taking the cables out of the servo but leaving it connected, because otherwise, if you take it out completely, you can get a engine fault light, which I have checked today. It does happen. So I just unplugged mine, and it did come up saying take it to be serviced as an engine fault. So obviously not ideal. And the way around that then was to get a servo eliminator. So Healtech, and I think there's a couple of companies that do it, but Healtech appears to be the main one, especially in the UK. They have their own UK distributor now, which is a bit more reassuring. And they do one, I can't remember how much it is, about £45 from memory, that literally just eliminates the light, but keeps your exhaust flap open. And then I was literally about to hit purchase and saw that they offer a switchable one, which I hadn't seen before, and that allows you to switch between factory settings, so it stays as it is, permanently closed or permanently open, and you can just wire that up, run the wire to your handlebars, and you've got a switch to change it whenever you want. So I'm not the best at doing DIY. I'll always try things myself, but particularly with electronics, I'm not great. I've always tinkered with things with some success, sometimes not. But I thought I'll give it a go. I had a Google. There's very little information on it, especially on the new 2024. There was a video out there of an S1000R, but I think it was a couple of years old, and there is some slight differences. So I thought I may as well make this video. I wouldn't normally, but I figured I'll do it. I'll feel my way through it, and I'll make the video. So hopefully it can help some of you people that are thinking the same thing. All I needed was obviously the servo eliminator. It was £104 delivered from Healtech UK. A couple of Torx screws, and that's pretty much it. Some tape, electrical tape, just to secure the wire down in certain places, and it comes with some cable ties already. So pretty much everything I need. Just to give a very quick sort of heads up on my thoughts on it since I've done it. So a very quick review. Bear in mind, I've not put my Acra back on. So this is literally just an open exhaust with no muffler at the back. The difference is drastic. So I met up with a friend, and he said to me as well before, it sounds a bit like a scooter prior to doing this, and he was sort of saying it was significantly louder. Putting it in race pro mode or race mode, you get significantly more pops and bangs. So every downshift or just letting off the throttle, you're getting some pops and bangs. Not the loudest in the world, but pretty loud. People were turning their heads when it happens. So if that's something that you're looking for, then that's obviously a good thing. I mean, I've just ridden it around town, so I can't tell you the performance differences. Probably highly unlikely that you would notice anything anyway, as far as I'm concerned, or that I would notice anything. So I'm not fussed about that. No check engine light, main thing. It's a lot louder. You know, obviously, when you get to sort of opening it up fully, when the exhaust valve would open anyway, or the exhaust flap would open anyway, it's not going to make any difference. So once you're above, I don't know what it opens at, maybe 5,000 revs, it's going to be no different. So it's more about having more noise around town and not having to rev your bike high to actually make the noise. And, you know, if you're doing a lot of town or sort of lower rev riding, that's where the benefit comes in. It's definitely not going to be as loud as a straight through exhaust, but it's loud. It's significantly louder. On a cold start, it's actually too loud. So the beauty of the switch is you can flick it to factory and it'll close the flap, which just makes it a bit nicer for my neighbours, essentially. There was a little bit of drone in certain gears, more just when, like, going around a corner, I was going around a roundabout in second, and whatever the revs I was holding, it was a little bit drony. The beauty of it being switchable then is that actually I can, you know, say if I was on a long journey, I'm sitting in sixth on a motorway and it is a bit drony, I can just flick the valve closed, the flap closed. So that's where it comes in handy, and that's the benefit it offers over just going through a straight through exhaust that's just going to be loud constantly. So there is benefits. I think it sounds great. It's basically what I wanted. You know, would I prefer the sound of a straight through? Probably, but for the hassle, etc., and the fact that I can switch it back if I'm going to go on a track day and there's noise limits, again, I can switch it back. It's just really handy, so I'm really impressed with it. The sound is spot on. It's as loud as I want it to be. It's a much deeper tone. The videos really don't do it justice. In person, it's significantly louder, and when I listen back to these videos, it's kind of slightly louder. But yeah, no, well worth it. Really impressed with it. Like I said, no check engine light, fairly easy to fit. Probably took me 45 minutes-ish. But obviously I'm feeling my way through it without any sort of instructions or anything, and filming these videos as well. It's probably a 20 to 30 minute job, with one fiddly bit that might extend that slightly, if you don't get it right first time. But yeah, really recommend it. I hope the video is helpful. Drop me any messages or comments if you've got any questions about it, and happy and safe riding. This is a quick video just to show how to fit the Healtech exhaust valve eliminator, the switchable one, and this is on a 2024 S1000RR. Now I've taken the exhaust off mainly so I can see the valve just in there, for testing, obviously. Oh, right on cue. You want to be able to see what the valve's doing and make sure you've got it working before you secure it all, which is going to cause a problem. I presume it opens automatically in stock mode, just to let some of the heat out. I'm not sure, but obviously the bike's off now and it's just done that by itself. So the servo that you're looking for, there's obviously loads of ways to do this. Some people are removing the servos completely, removing the wires. You can get something that just blocks it and keeps it open. However, you know, if you're going on certain tracks or if you don't want to annoy your neighbours, this for I think it was £104 I paid, seems like a nice option. It comes with a switch that I'm going to wire to the handlebars as well. So you've got, I think, 0 stock, 1's open, 2's closed. So open all the time, closed all the time, and then stock. So switching as the bike sees fit. So the servo itself is up here. It's held on by a little screw here, and then it's also got, if I can just point through here, you've got these two sort of rubber holes that are just the plastic part of the servo goes through. This one comes out very easily, but if you can just see underneath, the connection is here. And the sort of plastic connection from the servo to this rubber ring actually prevents you from getting the connection off. So I had to play around, try to see what was going on. There is another sort of screw further back here that you can just see on camera there. I wasn't sure whether that was holding it in, but it's not. It literally is this screw here, and then these two rubber things. So this one comes out very easily. This one's quite tough just here. So you do need to get hold of the servo and just pull it basically, and it will come out. You can then undo this clip here, which is your normal BMW one, and then stick the Healtech one in, and then the one that you've just pulled out, BMW one, just goes into the other part of the Healtech servo eliminator, just here. So I've finally got that done. I've just tested it, and it is working absolutely fine. So I'm going to basically just push this back into place, secure it back in place here, and then we'll run the wire to the front. So it's very, very fiddly. I've got very girly sort of thin hands and fingers, so I was able to do it. I know some people have talked about taking off your rear set, but I just figured this would be the you know, I'd give it a go anyway. It's probably taken me 20 minutes of faffing about just to try and do it, but yeah, it's finally gone in. I have just tested it and it is working. So I'm just going to shove these back in, tie it up, and then we'll look at how we're going to run this wire. I think the easiest way is going to be up here following this. Might have to take this fairing off and maybe run it along the fuel tank, and then it should just come out here. There's a little sort of rubber thing there. You should be able to pass it through absolutely fine, and then I'll probably cable tie it onto here, bring it down, and then the you'll see that it comes with a little sort of clip that should just go on here, so I can have my button sitting just there. So we'll get that done now, and then I'll show you guys. Okay, to remove your fairing, it's fairly straightforward. So you can see on this side there's some screws. You only need to do it on the one side. Undo this one here, which is equivalent to that one, another one just on the black bit. And then you're gonna have to remove your passenger seat or cowl. Just pull the back of your rider's seat forward, and you'll just unveil a tiny little screw. That's all that's holding the driver's seat in. So undo that. Your seat's gonna pop off, and then you can see on this side there is basically one screw here that you need to undo, and then there is another one here as well that's fairly long. Now I actually don't think I need to undo this one, but just keep it separate because it's quite a bit longer than the others that you'll get, but yeah, I probably didn't need to undo that one actually. And then to unclip it, basically, see on this side I've already taken it out. This just pulls out sideways, and then here, obviously on this side, you basically need to push your put your fairing sort of backwards and then push down towards the floor, and it'll just slide out. And then as you go along, you'll just gradually feel there's a bit here it's obviously hooked onto, so push this way, and then it just unpops from here, and the whole thing's removed. Now you could obviously remove the whole thing if you want, including the front bit. Because I've taken that front screw out, I don't think I'll need to. So I'm going to try and track the wire probably somewhere along here and up there, and then I'll fit it all back on. To thread the wire, basically, don't make the mistake I did and thread this that comes with it, the little connector, and push it onto the switch before you thread the wire through. Otherwise you have to pull it all the way back out, just like I did. So pop that on first. I'm gonna stick it here, so I'll just undo that and stick it there. For me, there's some wires going from here to the left, so it makes sense to have it on the left side rather than the right. But yeah, make sure you've got enough slack, and then you can obviously sort of thread it through however you want. So I've just tried to follow the wires that were already there. I've gone under here around. There's a little sort of rubber clip you can undo and attach it into there, and then once you come into here, I guess there's a couple of ways you can go. So I don't know if some people maybe would want to go up and along here. I've just run it along. Now you will see maybe this is a bit makeshift, but there's loads of extra wire, so I've taped it on the inside of here. There's a little lip, so it fits quite nicely along there, and then down towards where I'm going to stick it. And again, there's different places to stick it. I was thinking here, but it's quite on show then with the yellow, so I think I'm going to stick it here. I've not done it yet, but anyway, I put it all through and then realized there's a good chunk of extra wire, so I guess you could chop it and splice it. Again, I'm not that way inclined when it comes to electronics, so all I've done is pull the excess through into here, and try to think how to do it. So I've just wrapped it around here, taped it together, and it sort of perfectly just fit around this, so that shouldn't budge anywhere when it's on the bike. I'm going to use some cable ties to just cable tie it in a couple of places, probably up here, probably down here to one of these things, and that should keep it all fine. So yeah, that's it. I'm basically gonna undo this screw, and just pop the switch on, give it all a test, and then I'll put everything back together. Okay, so that's super simple. You don't need to undo both, just undo the bottom one, pull it all the way out, and it passes through, and then you can attach it. Just be careful that your clutch lever is obviously going to sort of rotate whilst you've got it off, so just make sure it's in the right position. I'm going to sit on the bike when I'm finished and just double check before I drive anywhere. So let's just give everything a go. So turning it on, currently it's on 0, so it should be on stock. I can't see the LED on here, to be honest. It's green, which means factory mode. Yeah, so that should be right. And if we look inside, the flap's probably open to begin with, but when we start it up, no check engine lights, by the way, it's just the usual. So you can hear the difference there. Number 2 is fully open, 1 is fully closed, and 0 is stock. So all good, working well. I'm going to secure this down here, get the fairings back on, and take it for a spin. So that's it. It's probably taken me an hour or so, but I have been obviously filming, I've been working things out because I've not seen anybody else do this. So now you sort of know what I've done. It's probably going to be a 20 minute to half an hour job. It's basically just getting this connector out and then the new one back in is the fiddliest bit. Probably could be the most time consuming. You could get it straight away. It's one of them things. I've stuck this here. It is on Velcro, so you can remove it fairly simply. Obviously you can see it, but I couldn't really see. You know, I was thinking maybe behind here, but because of the way the wires sit, it just wouldn't have been feasible. But I've cable tied all these together here. As you can see, there's no other evidence of where I've routed it. It's all gone through here, coming out here, a little cable tie here. I did put one inside as well, but it's all back on. That's all you've got. A little switch down here, and that's it. So obviously it makes a sizable difference. I don't know if you could pick it up on camera, but it's very loud, so I'll let it get over the cold start now, and then just give it a quick rev, and obviously I'm going to take it out for a ride. But yeah, you know, I wanted a full exhaust. I wanted you know, a lot more noise, but I don't want to fart around with remaps and things like that. The bike has got enough power for me. Certainly don't want more power, and don't want to mess with warranty. So as far as I'm aware, this shouldn't really affect warranty because you're only messing with the valve. So yeah, I have got a little stubby Pro Race exhaust coming. I was looking at like Austin Racing and stuff, but for 800 quid, it doesn't really seem worth it for just a piece of metal that's going to go on the end, and isn't going to make any difference. So I have got the normal, the standard Sport Acra. I will pop that back on whilst I'm waiting, and see what that sounds like. But I like the minimalist look. You can see I've taken my pegs off. Got the tail tidy from New Race Cycles, and yeah, just I like a very clean back end on a super bike, sports bike. So that's what I've gone for. But yeah, dead simple. Any questions, drop me a message. But yeah.